What video do we want to fucking watch now? This thought experiment reveals your hidden moral beliefs. This seems interesting enough.
Could a single number capture your moral instincts? Today I'm going to present to you a mind-bending thought experiment that I promise you've never heard before, because I made it up. I call it the Cactus Crossing Conundrum. And your answer to this puzzle says a lot about what moral tribe you secretly belong to. So let's dive in.
Moral tribe.
Picture two villages.
I will say I think people try to categorize them, not in the moral sense, right? But like politically, I think people try to categorize themselves so much more than an individual, case-to-case basis on topic. I think people care so much where it's like, and I know this is like the biggest middle ground thing to say. And whenever you hear somebody say this, you're like, oh, you're conservative, just trying to be chill, right? But like, because that's really what a lot of people that say that, like, oh, I'm just middle ground, man. Why do we put labels on everything? They're just trying not to pick sides, right? And I understand that, but I think there is some value in that statement where it's like, that political compass test. Everybody's taken that test. Even if you haven't, at some point you're gonna take it, be like, where am I? Because you're gonna want to know. But it doesn't fucking matter, right? It's like what you think about individual topics is what matters. How you think about society and people versus like, yeah, I'm a liberal. I'm a social democrat on the fucking political compass test. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, yeah, I actually fall into the social democrat category. No, I'll just tell you what I think about certain things. I tend to believe and understand topics in a similar way to people that fit in that same category. But that doesn't mean that I'm ever going to agree with that person to my right that is in the same category, right? Just because I'm leftist doesn't mean I'm going to agree with every single liberal in the fucking world. But I think it teaches people that, like, if a lot of conservatives believe something, if a lot of liberals believe something, you have to believe it too. And that's why I think the party and politics in general has gotten so divisive, because it's about like electing people for individual status and party rather than, you actually caring about your individuality and people. So that's why I don't want to say like that. That's a side rant, but I don't think there's like moral groups. I think it's easier to define people on moral beliefs in more subset groups than politics, because politics is very intricate and involves morality, whereas morality itself could just be like, you're a utilitarian, like you could encompass your moral beliefs just to that. Whatever affects the most people in the best way or hurts the least people is what I like.
So let's dive in. Picture two villages that are a mere 5-minute walk apart. Smallville has 100 people in it. Largeford has 200 people, double the population of Smallville. Once
a nuclear bomb's gonna hit one of them, you have to choose Smallville. Is this gonna be the...
Per month, everyone must meet at the same time in one of the two villages in order to enact an ancient ritual. That means that once a month, all the people from Smallville must walk to Largeford, or all the people of Largeford must walk to Smallville. If they skip the ritual, boom, a Lovecraftian monster.
Is he gonna say where should they have to go? I think they should switch it every year. I think that's fair. Do the people from Smallville have to walk to Large every year, or do the people from Large have to walk to Small? How do you have the arrangements there? I would say every year you hold it in a different place. Or the Large one. There's never a scenario where Largeville goes to Smallville. Oh, Largeville goes to Smallville because you have to support a small economy.
Monster wake.
Some fucking dickhead just said. Well, actually, it would boost their local economy, which actually might increase their population size to the effect that they might be able to actually match Largeville at some point.
From its slumber and the world ends. But there's a catch. The only path between the two villages goes through a dense patch of poisonous cactuses.
Oh.
Everyone who crosses gets poisoned. The poison isn't deadly, but it's very painful for about an hour. Now here's the twist.
Okay, well then all the Smallville people have to do it. Now you're adding pain. Now less, because more people are going to get hurt going to the other one. But then all these people are always going to get hurt. Fuck, man.
Due to genetic differences, the pain from the poison is 3 times greater for the...
Oh, you can't be throwing these curveballs. The 100 people experience 3 times as much pain. Oh my God.
Smallville folks than the Largeford ones.
All right, then I would say that the Largeville people have to go there 2 times for every Smallville's 1 time.
For ones. Here's
Because they have more people, but it hurts less. But they don't have to go every time.
the big question for you to consider. From an ethical point of view, in what percentage of months should the people of Smallville be the ones
12 months out of the year, I think 4 of the months the Smallville have to make that fucking cross, bitch. You're going to get pricked by that fucking cactus, and it's going to hurt, okay? But the other times, the Largeville people will go because, yes, there's more of them. More people are having pain, but it's much less pain, right? It'd be like giving 100 people paper cuts versus cutting a guy's hand off. No, it's not that. It'd be like giving 10,000 people paper cuts versus cutting a guy's hand off.
to walk across the cactus patch, rather than having the people of Largeford walk? Should the Smallvillians
No, that's a really bad example. Wipe from the board what I just said, because 3 times pain versus 1 times pain, no, that's
walk
never
0%
mind.
of months, 25%,
It'd be like cutting 1 finger off versus 3.
40%, 50%, 100% of the months? You may want to pause this video now and take a couple minutes to ponder your answer. Then I'll break down for you the different solutions to this puzzle. Your first instinct
I mean, I need to know how painful it is for the large people, okay? I get pricked by a cactus, yeah, it poisons me. Am I violently throwing up and like I'm gonna die pain, or is it not that bad?
Your first instinct may have been to think, well, suffering is bad, so we should try to produce as little suffering as possible by minimizing total suffering. In a few minutes,
Yeah, but then I'd fucking resent those small fucking town people. I'd fucking be pissed at them. If every year I had to go get pricked by the pears, or not the pears, the cacti, and I was like, oh, you're never gonna do it because it hurts more?
we'll question whether this is the right approach. But for now, let's see what happens when our goal is to minimize the total amount of suffering. When one person from Largeford walks across the cactus patch to Smallville and then back home again, let's define the pain they feel to be 1 unit of pain. That means that
Oh my god, but it's 6. It's 6 units of pain for a small pop. Oh my god. Or they could stop being idiots and wear pants.
each time the people from Largeford are the ones to cross, because there are 200 people, it produces 200 total units of pain. What about when the Smallvillians are the ones to cross? Well, there are only 100 of them, but as we know, they each feel 3 times more pain from crossing the cactuses. So, whenever the people of Smallville are the ones to cross, there are 300 total units of pain. 100 people times 3 units of pain each. So, how do we minimize suffering? Well, since there are 300 total units of pain when Smallville is forced to cross, but only 200 total units of pain when Largeford has to cross, that means that suffering is minimized if Smallville crosses 0% of the time.
I ain't doing that shit though. That'd be well, I mean, if I was a Smallville even if I was a Smallville person, I'd feel bad, right? Like, you have to do a meeting and your friend lives in fucking, every year he has to go get fucking poisoned because it just hurt more for you.
That's our first answer to the puzzle. Smallville should cross 0% of the time because
It would be the least amount of pain. That is technically the mathematical utilitarian answer.
that minimizes total suffering. This is what, in moral philosophy,
There we go. Oh, there he is. There's his bald head.
is known
Look at him. Who is that? I don't know. I don't know who invented utilitarianism.
as the utilitarian solution. It maximizes
Oh, you have a philosophy degree and you don't know that? Yeah, I don't fucking know that.
the total sum of utility for all people. But is this the right answer? Well, some would say
Now
no.
I need to know. Now it's going to kill me if I don't look it up. Chad, any guesses out here? Oh, Bruno Mars. Oh, Dwayne Johnson. Oh, it's Jeremy Bentham. I've definitely heard that.
Because it certainly doesn't seem fair. If Smallville crosses 0% of the time, then the people of Largeford get all the suffering. Shouldn't the suffering be shared between the two groups? This thinking leads to our second proposed solution, a solution that seems much more fair.
Make the groups share. No, not 50-50.
Each group should walk 50% of the time.
No, that's stupid. That's dumb. I think the best... Chat. Okay, is my method stupid? I think you have the equal units of pain on both sides. Like, I would go... If I feel 1 unit of pain, you feel 3. I should go 3 times as much as you. But you should still go. We shouldn't do 50-50.
That also means that each person walks 50% of the time. What could be more fair than that? But is it actually fair if each group walks half the time? After all, the groups are not equal to each other. And for some people, crossing the cactus patch is a lot worse than for others. Wouldn't it be fairer if rather than saying each group has to walk half the time, instead we say that each group has to bear half of the suffering? Let's work out what that would mean.
Yeah. I fuck with that. That's the best one.
Suppose that the people of Smallville had to walk 40% of the
Not 40. If 40-60 is mathematically what it is, then yeah, run that.
With Larchford residents walking 60%. Then, on average per walk, the pain experienced by Larchford residents would be 200 people times walking a fraction of 0.6 of the time times 1 unit of pain per person, which equals 120 units of pain. Whereas, on average per walk, the total pain for Smallvillians would be 100 people times walking a fraction of 0.4 of the time times 3 units of pain per person equals 120 units of pain.
That's fair. I rock with that. I'd still be I wouldn't be mad if I was from Largeville. I'd be a little annoyed if I was from Smallville, though. I'd be like, damn, you're still going to make me walk there for fucking 40% of the time?
That's the same number we got for the total pain experience per walk by Larchford residents.
I still have to go there like 5 months.
That means if the Smallvillians walk 40% of the time, then each of the two groups experiences the same total amount of pain. Therefore, we have our third solution. That seems fairer than our prior solution, where
I don't know. The only other thing that I would say that you have to factor in is even if they feel the same units of pain, wouldn't you rather have pain be dispersed? Like misery, pain, sadness, dispersed is better. I'd rather feel a little sad 5 days than really sad 1 day. What's something that, okay, getting hit in the shin with a scooter. What's something that's 3 times as painful as that? I don't know. What, like getting hit in the shin with a scooter, somebody whacking you in the shin with a baseball bat. It would be like gunshot, amputation. Okay. Death, no. Stub toe, hit by a car. Maybe getting kicked in the balls. Like, whatever's 3 times as painful. Say breaking your arm. I gotta break my arm. I break my arm, that's 1 unit of pain. I fucking shatter your fist. I break all your fingers. Pull your fucking fingernails out. That's 3 times as painful. If you had to do that once, that's still worse than me having to do my thing 3 times. Because mine's dispersed. Whatever that pain meter is. Like if I punch a wall and it hurts, that's 1 level of pain. I have to punch it 3 times as hard and it's going to hurt 3 times as much. Oh, fuck no.
Smallvillians walk 50% of the time because now each of the two groups bears the same burden. But wait, is this new solution actually fair? Is both groups experiencing the same amount of suffering what determines fairness? Shouldn't fairness be determined by what each person experiences, rather than what each group experiences? Why should it matter which group a person is a member of? Shouldn't each person bear an equal responsibility, not each group? Consider what happens when the people from Smallville have to walk 25% of the time and the people from Larchford walk 75%. Then, the total suffering experienced by each Larchford resident would be 1 unit of pain when they walk, pain per 3 units of pain 9 units of the time, then each...
What? I'm skipping through his shit. He's fucking saying the same... Dude, he's doing it like he's from Sal from fucking Khan Academy. 1 unit of pain times 9 out of 12 months equals 9 units of pain per person. All right, you don't got to lay it out for me. I'll just fucking fast forward and pause it. I'm confused now. I want to read through this. They still have 1 unit of pain. They walk 3 out of the 12 months. Yeah, that makes sense to me because that's based on each person versus the fraction of the months. Each person is experiencing that amount of pain.
Person from both the...
That seems more fair to me. Where it's like 3 times as painful, I'd be like, fuck, dude.
Villages experiences the exact same total amount of...
Because even if you're going 40%, it's 3 times as painful. So it's still way worse.
Pain. So this means we found our fourth solution. If what we care about is not minimizing total suffering, and not each group having the same total amount of suffering, but instead having each person share the burden equally, then Smallvillians would walk 25% of the time, not 40%.
I think some people would disagree with that. I think most people would probably want the 40-60. I would be fine with 25-75.
Or 50%, or 0%. But some people would object to all the solutions so far on the grounds that they aren't respecting people's choices. Shouldn't people get to choose? There are multiple ways to let people choose.
Then don't let their bitch ass go to the meeting. You can't get it that complicated in a philosophical question here. Oh, shouldn't people be able to choose? Yeah, but I mean, this is a scenario where it's like they're walking past a fucking a cactus patch.
But let's first consider the simplest way, giving each person an equal chance to choose. So there are 300 total people. So let's say at the end of every ritual, a random number is drawn to determine which of the 300 people gets to choose which group walks the following month. If we do that, then presumably whoever is selected will likely decide to have the other village walk next month, since that prevents themselves and their loved ones in their village from having to suffer. If we assume that's what would happen.
No. You think if you had 300 people, chat, that every month 100 people had 3 times pain, 200 people had 1x pain. And every month they spun it, and whoever was chosen had to choose who got the pain. I don't think every time it landed on the 200 people, they'd be like, nah, zap those motherfuckers. Yeah, make them have the pain. No. I think there'd be some months where it's like, damn, they had it 5 times in a row. Maybe we should take it. Maybe we should take this for the team.
Happen, then what's the result? Well,
I will say, I think the 100 people every time would choose the large people. Even if the large people felt the pain like 10 times in a row, I think the people that experienced more pain would always inflict that pain among the larger group of less, I guess, concentrated physical pain.
Since there are 200 people in Larchford and only 100 in Smalltown, that means that 66% of the time, someone in Larchford makes the choice. And that means the people of Smalltown walk 66% of the time. This is yet another solution to the problem that we haven't seen before. You may be thinking, though, choosing people at random isn't democratic. The democratic solution is to use voting. So what happens if we let people vote instead? Well, again operating under the assumption that people choose to have the opposite village walk to spare themselves and their loved ones, that means that the Larchford residents vote to have the Smallville people walk. And because there are more Larchford residents than Smallville ones, the Larchford residents...
Unless we gerrymander them out of their own groups. Unless we gerrymander the fucking Largeville people and put them in counties to where their votes don't matter, because we just loop all of them into one, and then now it's actually their vote doesn't matter anymore. We're not going to show it.
Win the majority vote every single time. This leads to yet another new solution. Smallville walks 100% of the time. We see that the cactus crossing conundrum has many solutions, each corresponding to a different set of moral ideals. So,
equal personal burden, equal group burden, equal action, random voter, majority vote.
So, what answer do you think is the best one? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
I feel like you gotta go equal person burden, equal group burden. Which one are y'all choosing? Majority vote, you're all fucking crazy. That is, if you're like, yeah, you're just gonna deal with the pain, bitch. We have the numbers. I think you do 25-75. 25-75. You could even go equal action, and I'd get that. Random voter could make sense in theory if you had some people that were nice and they were just like, yeah, we'll do it. That was a fun fucking video, though. What if everybody lived in Largeville, Jesus. But every time a meeting happens, a small portion has to live in Smallville to the next meeting and so on. Yeah, you could do that, but that just ruins the hype. It makes the hypothetical, like, just society where it's like, yeah, sometimes we're going to have a meeting here, sometimes it'll be there. And then at that point, you would just go, well, why don't we cut the cactuses down? Chat. We're going to call that there.